Welcome to the Innovation Best Practices episodes, where we try to make every episode one that's going to help you sell more and make more from your innovation program. Special welcome to listeners from 72 countries listening to these episodes. Great to have you here. We're starting today on one of my favorite series that we're ever going to do, which is the How-To series. And this is about how to generate 12 times more ideas than brainstorming. So this is going to be fun. We're going to do these series in groups. We're going to do several episodes here on the details of how to generate 12 times more ideas. And then we'll have some variety of episodes in terms of material and interviews, and then we'll do some more how-to series to try and mix it up and keep it all interesting and vital for you. We have both VideoCasts and podcasts and actually blogs of innovation best practices. If you'd like to see the VideoCasts, just go to YouTube and in the search bar put Richard Innovation Best Practices. You'll get a bunch of search results there, and just scroll down and we'll be 4th, 5th, 6th, whatever it is in the list. Click on it and you'll be on the page where the VideoCasts are. It's that simple. You can, if you want, you can bookmark the page after that. Just a word here to those of you that are listening to this as a VideoCast and podcast. This how-to series may be just a bit better and more helpful if you listen to it as a VideoCast as opposed to a podcast, because there's going to be lots of visuals in this how-to series, but your call. You can listen to the podcast by going to iTunes and just in the podcast section of iTunes, in the search bar, search for Innovation Best Practices. You'll find us right away. Or you can go to my website, i2ge.com, the letter I, number 2ge.com/podcast. If you go to iTunes, please consider giving us a 5-star rating and review. We'd love it. We also have a free blog based on these episodes, and for that you go to i2ge.com/blog. It's all that simple. There's also free apps to listen to this for both the iPhone and iPad and Android devices at Google Play. So, free VideoCast, free podcast, free blog, and free apps. It doesn't get much better. Okay. Innovation Best Practices also has a free twice-a-month newsletter with insights that are not available in any of the podcast or VideoCast. And to get that, it's about as simple as it can possibly be. On your cell phone in text messaging, just text to this number, 33444. That's 33444. The one word, free 33, no spaces, free 33. And I love it when listeners contact me, and I try to make it very easy for you to do that. You can email me at richard@i2ge.com. I look forward to hearing from you. Okay, so why does innovation need so many ideas that generating 12 times more ideas than brainstorming is actually something very valuable? Well, in many ways, ideas define how much innovation horsepower you have. Innovation needs ideas like a car needs gasoline. No ideas, innovation doesn't go too far. Innovation doesn't need just any ideas. It needs really big ideas with well above average chances for long-term success. And that's one of the great strengths of quantum idea generation, which is the process that generates at least 12 times more ideas than brainstorming. Your chances for innovation success go up when you get many high-quality ideas from different sources, and we'll dive deeper and deeper into that. Okay? Before you start quantum idea generation, there's a few things that you need. First, you need to create a vision of what success looks like. What are you trying to get done here? If you don't do this, it's kind of like the adage, if you don't know where you're going, any road will get you there. And you want to create a vision of success that's specific enough to know when you get there, but not so specific that it actually invents the product that you need. We typically suggest that in creating a vision for success that you assemble a diverse group, a senior diverse group, top management. To greatly help this process, you can invite external expertise into the process. We strongly suggest in creating your visions for success that you reach high. In fact, I'm inspired by Jim Collins' book, Good to Great. He talked about one of the aspects that is characteristic of companies that go from good to great companies is what he called a hedgehog concept. One of the strangest descriptions I've ever heard, but in it embodies a very big idea. Companies that went from good to great had identified one thing, that they could be better than anyone else in the world at. Not in a city, not in a state, not in a country, in the world. And we often suggest that you take a look at creating a vision for success that is the same standard of the hedgehog concept. And we challenge your current definition of what business you're in is one of the things that we do when we help people create a vision for success. And I want to give you a little bit more on that. Because if you answer the question, what business are you really in, you can get some surprising and extremely powerful answers to all that. And the answer can dramatically change what that vision looks like. Just look back at what Apple did. They changed their vision of success from being in the computer business to being the digital hub of the home. And look what happened. They went from just computers to the iPod, the iPhone, the iPad, the watch, on and on and on. When you redefine what business you're in, it can open up major new avenues. In fact, the change was so dramatic when Apple decided to change its definition of what business it was really in, that they actually changed the name of the company from Apple Computer to Apple. Mr. Clean is another example where they challenged the view of what business are we really in. For decades, it had been a floor cleaner. When I was in Procter & Gamble in sales, that's what it was. Well, they redefined the business that they were in and said that they were in the hard surface cleaner business. Now, that definition certainly embraces floor cleaning, but it embraces a whole lot more. They were able to get into high-volume businesses like the spray cleaner and the absolute power-packed product called the Mr. Clean Erasure. It is just absolutely an amazing product. So, in the process of creating a vision, just take a look at asking yourself, what business are we really in? I've got other examples of equal power that dramatically impact the vision of success. Okay. Before you start quantum idea generation, you also need to couple a dynamic strategy to achieve the vision for success. And there's a whole lot of books and everything written on strategy, and I go about it in a way that seems to me to be very practical and powerful. In creating a strategy to accomplish a vision for success, I typically look at three perspectives that I really, really, really want to understand. I really want to understand competitors, both the business and customer strengths and weaknesses. Really, really need to know where they're strong, where they're weak, what they're doing, all that sort of stuff. I really want to understand customers, who, what, and why. I want to know the differences between groups, the similarities between groups. Very importantly, what's their need hierarchy? What are the top 1, 2, or 3 needs that customers have for the type of product that we're focusing on? And what are their current likes and dislikes? You really, really want to dig in and understand customers, because when you're in innovation, you're designing, you're innovating for customers. So make sure you understand them. You also want to understand your business. You want to understand your capabilities, especially any place that you have world-class capabilities, where you might need to acquire additional capabilities, either through an acquisition or consulting or things of that nature that you need to achieve your vision. You really need to also have a very objective evaluation of the company's assets and liabilities. Yes, you want to know where you're strong, but you want to know where you're weak, and if that's something that can be compensated for. In an earlier podcast on Samsung, I talked about how they were lacking the capability of design to compete in the smartphone business, and that podcast talks greatly about how they went about developing a capability they didn't have to achieve their vision of success. Okay, the quantum idea generation recipe, if you will. There's 4 things that you do to create a process that generates at least 12 times more ideas than brainstorming. First, you bring idea stimulus into a creative session. You add a significant amount of purposeful, visual, and factual information. What all that is will be covered in one of the upcoming episodes that we have where I dive deep into how you actually do this stimulus thing. The next thing you do is you need to bring a tremendous amount of diversity into your creative session. You stir the stimulus into a group of people with high levels of different but relative expertise. You're talking, when we dive deeper in another episode into diversity, you'll see that what we mean by that are really three groups. Internal diversity, very careful to choose the right people from inside the company to be part of this process. External diversity, again, these can be very, very powerful additions you make to your creative process, and there's a way about going about it. And then there's a third one that you'll learn about in the episode on diversity, and what I'll call for the moment creative expertise. Okay. The third one that you want to bring in is very specifically crafted and tailored idea generating exercises. Again, in another episode, we'll dive deep into this, and you'll learn that the right idea generation exercises for left and right brain people. You'll learn that left and right brain people are equally creative, but they go about developing ideas in very, very different ways. And so you need to tailor your creative idea generating exercises to the makeup of left and right brains in the room. And the fourth one is that you want to eliminate fear and have fun. Fear in any place in a company, but certainly in a creative session, just absolutely pours tons of cold water and you get nothing. If you have fun, on the other hand, and there's ways of doing this, of managing fear and having fun, you stir in positive energy to get those wild and wacky ideas you need to make big progress. Okay, here's the quantum idea generation process sequence about how you go about doing all this. Your vision of success and strategy are your compass that are going to guide all of this. You create a stimulus plan. Remember, stimulus is step one. You want to hear some categories that you want to look at. The basis for the vision and strategy. Let others know how you got where you are and why you got there. You want business background, customer insights about competitors, business trends, especially market share and things of that nature. And you want some very specific subject pages. Again, there'll be an entire episode on this, and we'll dive into this in a lot more detail. This is just to give you a very quick overview. Then you want to get the right diverse creative group together, and you want to define the areas of needed internal and external expertise. In taking a look at external expertise, what you're really looking for are true world-class cutting-edge experts, and they're not a dime a dozen, who have relevant expertise that doesn't duplicate your internal expertise. Okay? You want to identify and gain agreement from specific people to be part of the creative group. You want people who want to be there. You don't want people that are told by their boss, hey, need you to go down to that conference room for the next 2 days, and I don't know what they're doing, but just go do your best. You don't want that. You want to assign key group members to specific stimulus presentations so that they prepare that in advance to coming in, and it's to be shared during the creative session. So choosing the right diverse creative group, very important part of the process. You want to set up the logistics for a session, a creative idea session. You want a room that's at least twice as big as you would normally be required for the number of people you have. In a creative session, you need lots of room. When I run a session, we set up spontaneous groups around the room with different sorts of materials, and we need to be able to move around and do these things. Just some key facility needs that you have. You need PowerPoint projection. A lot of stimulus presentations are there. You want internet connection because you're going to be bringing in presentations off the internet. You want round tables. Round tables are very, very important in this process. You want 4 people per round table. Anybody that's interested in why that's such a pretty hard and fast requirement can contact me. You want notebooks, flip charts, pens, 5x7 cards, and importantly, energy foods, but not junk foods. Okay. Then you want a minute-by-minute plan for the session. You have a tremendous amount of work to complete in a creative idea session that often lasts 1, 2, 3, and even 4 days. And you need a plan that gets the job done. This is not that easy to do, so make sure you take your time. And after you have the plan, there's a 100% chance that you'll make major changes to the plan to accommodate areas of creative exploration and the need for new creative processes. So yes, you develop a plan. You got to have it. A plan that's going to get you from the start and cross the finish line. But then recognize that there's a 100% chance you're going to change it. And key elements of the plan that are there are stimulus presentations, creative exercises, and reporting and sharing. Those are the basic structure of what you're going to be doing. Okay. Then you need to have the ability to facilitate the session. This is a must-have. A highly skilled facilitator needs to manage deliverables, keep their eye on the ball, the energy in the room. By that I mean, are people excited, having fun, creating a lot of big ideas? Or you see people just leaning back in their chairs, looking at their watch and all that sort of stuff. You want to choose the right creative exercises. You want to create a positive spirit and a sense of fun. And it's almost like being the head cheerleader. I know this real well because it's what I do in creative sessions. You need to have a method to collect written versions of all the ideas you develop. 5x7 cards are one of the ways of doing that, but it's not the only way. And you need to have a method to share and build on the ideas of others. Okay? So, facilitating the session. You want creative idea exercises planned, but you will call audibles to utilize different than the planned creative idea generate exercises to fit immediate needs. I have more than 100-page book of creative idea generating exercises that I use to call on new unplanned creative idea generating exercises because of where the group is going and the kinds of needs that we have. You want to look at exercises to make sure that you closely monitor the left and right brain interactions. Again, there'll be an episode that dives deep on this, but you want to closely monitor how people are being most productive and adjust as necessary. Sometimes you will find that right brain exercises in some strange left brain dominated groups actually do very, very well and people have fun with it, in part because it shakes them up and they go, wow, this is unexpected, and a sense of feeling creative, which isn't all bad. And you want to strictly enforce the no judging. This is the part that creates fear, and you just absolutely want to get it out of there. Business operational people who are part of this group love to exercise quick judgment, and they just need to leave that at the door when they come into the session. And there's things that you can do to make sure that that happens. Judging too early in the process and can really stifle your creativity. Okay. Then after the session, you want to make sure you have a record of all of the good and even somewhat good ideas. In a small group after the session, probably just an internal group, you want to select the top 25 to 50% of ideas for further development, which really means taking sketchy ideas and writing them out in more descriptive concepts. And then when you've got that, you want to agree to research and concept evaluation method to get the top 10% of ideas evaluated. And we typically use Merwin technology for that purpose. And that's been covered in some of the earlier episodes in this podcast, but I'll be diving deep into that again in further how-to sessions. Okay? So if you need to know more about innovation best practices, the good news is you've got some resources. You can go to my website at i2ge.com, and you can click on the menu bar where it says DIY Innovation Training and click on that. And there you'll find a whole host of training programs that we have available. If you don't see one that exactly fits your needs, just send me an email. We'll tailor one for you. Here's what the purpose of this is. My purpose is to have an innovation training program that makes you self-sufficient so that you don't have to pay expensive consultants like me to do it for you. So this is a big cost savings opportunity for you to become self-sufficient. I also have a book. One of my 6 books that I've written is called Proven Practical Innovation That Delivers Results. It's available only at Amazon as a paperback and as a Kindle book. It's priced below my break-even point, so it's a great value. So enjoy that. If you have suggestions, comments, or requests, I love hearing from you. These episodes are for you. If they're working for you, I'd like to understand why, so I keep doing that. If you've got some ideas on how they can be made better, I'd love to hear that too. Just send me an email to richard@i2ge.com. In the next series, we're going to continue our series of how-to, and we're going to talk about how to create powerful stimulus. Step by step, the kinds and types and purposes, the forms and the sources. This is going to be a deep dive into how to create truly powerful stimulus that will generate ideas from your creative session that you could not get any other way. As all of you know, I'm deeply grateful for you taking time out of your busy day to spend it with me here. I really look forward to reconnecting with you soon, and until then, please have a great day.